All right, we'll be on just a minute. All right, we welcome everybody to the D. Leonard Hughes Personal Development Institute. And I am the CEO and president. I am Dr. D. Leonard Hughes, your therapist and your coach. And it's a pleasure to be coming to you on this Friday evening. It's always a pleasure to come to you. We got some good stuff we want to cover. Why don't you call some people and information? Let me say this. I was talking to somebody earlier, and we were just sharing, and I shared some. I said, I don't know. Don't quote me on that, because that was information for 20 years ago concerning something. And I say, I probably need to update my information. Let me work with y'all. You got to get outside your head. You got to get in your head, but then you have to get outside your head. You got to know when to go in and process and deal with mental challenges, but don't stay in your head. Don't stay in your head too long. Let's see. I'm trying to respond to somebody that wanted to. Okay, correct. So you're wondering, what is this that I have up here, Dr. Hughes have up here, of the illusion of suffering? I'm going to break it down, and it's going to help you. It's going to help you understand mentally what's going on. Let me tell you something. It's a wonderful time. All you need is tools of wisdom and patience. I'm getting ahead of myself. We suffer because we become attached. Suffering is a result of attachment. All right, Dr. Sutton, Kentucky in the house. Glad to have you. Glad to have you, sir. So, suffering is an interpretation of events in your mind. All right, you say, Well, D.L. Hughes, what about suffering in my body? What about pain? I understand. I'm talking about, in a way, two different things, the same thing, but two different areas, okay? Because even pain in your body, if you stomp your finger or you stomp your toe and you're like, ouch, it hurt, but there was a signal that went through your spine into your brain. So it's not so much your finger or your thumb hurting, it's the signal that was given off. So I'm saying this, it's the way that, and I don't understand that. You have suffering in your body. I understand that. You don't, I want to tell you this, you don't have to suffer in your body. Okay. But I want to deal with suffering as interpretations of events in your mind. Let's give an illustration. If maybe I want to give that one. Let's say if somebody, let's say if you're somewhere and you get a call of some type of tragedy and it's going to take you an hour to get home, you're going to go through some suffering in your mind to get there to find out it was not your house, it was the wrong house. So, but the interpretation came of trauma, of many traumas. It had to be nothing major. Sometimes many traumas can affect you. And you call that suffering, but it's not really suffering. It's your interpretation of what you're dealing with. And because you're attached. One great philosopher said that suffering is a result of attachment. We become attached to things, attached to this. And when we can't get them as fast as we want to get them, and it's not coming as fast as we want them to come, we look at that as suffering, but it is not suffering. It is the interpretation of, it's always something, some changes I had to make over the last, hello, that's my mother, Dolores Michael Ray. Glad to see you, mama. Some changes I had to make over the last few days, changes and choices I had to make. And in doing that, life is about chances and about choices and decisions. When you don't make a decision, you've just made a decision, okay? So in order for you to get in this coaching platform, in order for you to get where you need to get, there's going to have to be changes. You can't do it. It cannot be done without making changes. Changes in your mind, changes in your lifestyle, okay? Changes in the proximity of people that you're around. These are the things that has to be in place in order for you to accomplish what you need to accomplish, okay? Wherein suffering comes from our minds, how we think and how we respond to situations. And we're so quick to label stuff in a negative label. Suffering, I'm tired, anxiety, this. I'm not talking about, even physical tiredness, fatigue affects you mentally. That's why it's important to get rest, and it's important to go outside. There must be a balance of inside, we love being in the house, but we have to go out and synchronize with nature because we come from nature. We're going back to nature. So there's energies that's coming from the sun, oxygen from the plants, all of these things that we need in our life, but you can't get there because many times you got other untrue stuff going on in your head. Your mind means well, but our minds will lie to us and give us the wrong perception. And until you come to the reality of that, you're going to go through you're not going to enjoy living. You're going to enjoy stress life. Okay, you're going to enjoy worrying. Why? Because you worry is a defense. You let your mind go from one worry thing, a whole list. Your mind jump from one worry to the next, and you jump with it. It's like monkeys going from one tree to another. Aren't you tired? And there's something where you need to take control. You say, well, I just can't. It's such a fight. So I just let my mind do what I wanted to do because it's such a fight. No, it doesn't work like that. You're in control. That core you, that God you, that Christ you, the God nature in you, the image of God that's in you. That's the core of you. Your thoughts, I did an illustration. I think I did them a minute wake up. You can close your eyes 20 seconds. What do you think? Are you going to think of one, maybe 1.5 thoughts? So if you can look at your thoughts, if you can look at what you're thinking, if you can look at what you're feeling, then you're not your thoughts, you're not your emotion. So there's another part. I feel something that's happening now. There's another part of you. There's the core of you. And most folks are not familiar because we're so used to seeing this outward condition. Hold on, I feel something else happening. We're so used to dealing with conditions. Okay, this is how we live our life, based on condition. We live happiness based on something happened. That's not the way to do it. And you feel the sensations, you feel the mental triggers, you feel the emotions that goes out there, and you don't know where it's coming from. Well, you need to stop and see, what were you thinking before this sensation or before this thing triggered? Okay, because your thoughts and emotion, then they go together. The neurons fires. I don't have time to get into all that, but the point that I'm making, you have to understand the real core of us. And I think, and the real core of us is freedom, equality, and just the God power, the image of God, the God person on the inside of you. You see what I'm saying? And this is the areas that you've got. Start seeing suffering for what it is. Your mind is telling you stories. That's powerful. Start seeing suffering for what it is, because it's you got to get this. Don't you swipe. I want you to get this. Start seeing suffering is just story. Your mind, our mind, tell us stories. And 80% of the stories that your mind told you today, look at me, they were not true. There's no scientific proof. You're not going to make it. There's no scientific proof. You're a failure. There's no scientific proof. You can't accomplish that. There's no scientific proof that that's true. But there's scientific proof that it is true. For one, is in Joshua 1:8, thou shalt make thy way prosperous. It's not a church platform, not a religious platform, but it's a Christ awareness platform. I must say that. Thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and thou shalt have what? Good success. That's the reality. And you say, well, excuse me, that's not for me. God has no respect of person, but he has respect of faith. That is for you. You were born to be free. Okay? You were born to be the head. You were born to be the first and not last. You see what I'm saying? So if you don't know who you are, this is what's missing. The very core of knowing the real you, the God you. Can I say this? And I don't even know. I can't say I don't know where it's coming from. I know where it's coming from. It's coming from the presence of God within. Okay. When stuff comes, it don't come out the sky. A bird doesn't bring it. A bird doesn't bring it. It comes from what's already within you. Okay. The source. Let me say this here. I don't know. I'm going way in another area of what I planned. But knowing that source is in you, whatever you want to call it, source, God, infinite intelligence, whatever you're comfortable with. You may even, I have some people that support me that's Muslim, whatever you want to call it, it's still source. Okay. However you want to name the prophet that inspired you, that's fine. I don't get into that. But the point that I want to make is, you got to really know the real you. You don't know the real you. You know, I'm trying to talk to y'all and do this too. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Don't give me 1 second, because I'm feeling something that's happening, and I like it, and I kind of. So I want you to somebody write that down. I know what I'm doing. It's just something is coming fresh. Um, Something within you, the source, the source that's within you, the power. Do you not know that you? All right, Sister Grace, there you are. Now we're on 5 platforms, so let me see. Sometimes people say, "Well, I was on and you didn't." I can't mention everybody. I've got 3 monitors, and I can't see everybody, and I can't watch the comments and everything. So I've got my main page before me, and you can also reach me on YouTube. Okay, you can go on YouTube. Okay, everything is energy. Even a dead body still has, if they put a microscope, it's dead, but there's still energy uh, moving around on that dead corpse because everything is energy. Everything. So there's a force with the power of God, the creative power. Oh, come on, somebody. I'm going somewhere. I didn't, this is not in my notes, but I'm going to bring it together. I've been doing it so long, I know how to bring it together to help you. That's my purpose. That's my passion. If you can hack your mind and your emotions and the old concepts and way you were taught and your things that families taught us and culture and God help us, the stuff they taught us in the past in the religious community. If you can hack your mind, you know what I said somebody, I used to say this, young, minister that and just talking that 6 months of mind my business, but it's really true. Once you really get on a mission of developing you and different things about you that come up, be honest with you. No, that's not good. No, that's negative. No, I don't need to be thinking like that. Don't make an excuse for negativity. How do you believe what you believe? The things that you say, the things that you talk about. Because anytime there's a belief, anytime there's a thought, there's a belief behind it. Okay, that's what belief is. Thinking a thought over and over and over again. That's what belief is. So anytime you think a thought, there's a choice whether to believe that thought or not to believe that. All right, a choice of sickness. You believe? No, I'm not going to believe. Well, it's to know because you don't know who you are. I had somebody very dear to tell me, say it in the morning, say you feel great. Well, I don't. I got because you don't know who you are. You are. When you know the core of you, the God of you. Is there pain? I'm not saying it's not, but you don't want to give in to it. Pain is good because it lets us know it's a signal that something's going on. So I'm not saying, oh, just ignore pain. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is don't bathe in it. Once you know it's there, deal with it. Don't start calling the whole world because it doesn't matter. Ain't nothing they can do. On my morning wake up this morning, I put you can't rescue everyone. You can't really rescue nobody. They have to rescue themselves. You can give inspiration, you can motivate them, but a person has to rescue themselves, and you keep rescuing them when their mindset is off, their life is off, they're not trying to do nothing. You're burning your own energies. I know it makes you feel good. It makes you feel worthy. It makes you feel that you're helping somebody. That's fine, but find the right people to help. Find people that are ready. You know, if I'm helping somebody, even in coaching, and I've got a person that I've helped, and I think they're on, and I won't mention, but I'm very proud of her because when I started with her, she was doing good, but then she's doing better, doing real good now. But I forgot what I was saying. It'll come back to me. But what I'm saying is this: you gotta know what keeps me and pushes me. And I have a lot of pastors and leaders that get my morning mental wake up. We're doing over 10,000 people and leaders. I'm surprised. I said, y'all, one leader told me, he said, I hope you don't mind, but I use your information with those that God have entrusted me. I said, it ain't mine. I don't never look at Socrates. One thing that Socrates said, I know nothing, but one thing is that I know nothing. One thing I know, he says, is that I know nothing. Open mind, no detachments. Write that down. You got to have an open mind, but don't detach. Why do we suffer, per se, when it comes to our social life? Because we get detached. Y'all saying happy birthdays to people that don't even tell you happy birthday. Stop. You all over Facebook. They ain't telling you happy birthday. They ain't reaching out to you. Stop doing that because you want to be a part. Be you. Be your own best friend. And ain't nothing wrong. I told somebody, it ain't nothing wrong with loving you some you. Can I say it again? It ain't nothing wrong with loving you some you. Love you. When I get up in the morning, I command my day. I don't even talk on the phone. I don't make any calls most of the time unless it's an important call. I don't do that. I come in alignment with the presence of God within me. I come in alignment with the universe. I come in alignment with nature. When I'm aligned, I'm a superpower. So whatever comes to us, the uncertainties will come. Wake up, grow up. How long have we? I've been here 61 years, and I have to remind myself, uncertainties will come. Things change. People change. People like you one day. The least little thing, they don't like you today. That means they never liked you. That's what it really means. They never like it. So suffering is an illusion because it's the way that in mental suffering is an illusion. Even physical suffering in a way because pain comes from your mind. But mental suffering is an illusion because you taking yourself through unnecessary stuff. You meet somebody today and you already plan this movie. What's going to happen? Ooh, this gonna be my boo. We got a thunderstorm coming. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. I want to go here. I want to go to the beach. You got all these things, and you haven't even really talked to the person. Or you might have had one conversation. Learn to listen. I feel that. I feel the Spirit is telling me to tell you all. Learn to listen. In the scripture, in the Christian Bible said, slow to speak, quick to hear. Can I say it again? Slow to speak, quick to hear, because you're always giving off. Everything is energy. Is that our basic belief about how the world around us works? Energy. You're suffering because of your perception of whatever you're dealing with. And you know what? Even one thing that I was doing today, you have to practice this stuff. It doesn't come easy. You practice. When my mind is telling me something, I called it Bob. But that inner critic, I said, Bob, you're a clown. How do you know that? Go back and get some factual information and come back and tell me that I can't make it. I'm talking to you now. This is how I talk to myself. Go back and get some factual information that I can't succeed. There is no factual information. It's your belief system of what you've told yourself and the story you've told yourself over the years. And the story that you've heard people. That's why I teach people, you don't tell your kids what to go to school for, this and that. Let them do that themselves. Parenting is not, once they get a certain age, your job is to let them go. This is what happened with Samuel. His mother, Hannah. Samuel's mother's name was Hannah. When she had him, she gave him to the Lord. Give your child, your grandkids, give them to God. You mean he's not, you mean you got to worry about them? And your worry is not helping them. Your worry is hurting you. I know you worry as a defense mechanism. I know that when it happened, you're already on guard. No. You're hurting yourself because most of the things, one philosopher said, I went through a lot of things in my life, and most of it never happened. Things you got going on, it ain't going to happen. Some of you worry for one. You cannot have a quiet mind. Quiet your mind. Cut the TV. There's no way you can keep the TV on all day and have a meditation. And I'm not saying it's wrong, but take 15 minutes. I'm stopping everything and I'm going to quiet my mind. Put on music. You lay there. When the mind want to wander, bring it right back. Find something, an air conditioner, find a sound, and it clears your mind from clutter. And allows your system to regroup and realign with the energy force and the Spirit of God and source of God, which is within you. Okay? I was telling somebody, everything connects. Each invention connects. I think I was telling my mother last night. We have a cell phone, but how many other inventions did it take to get there? Apple, um, what's his name? Steve Jobs. He didn't come up with the cell phone. He came up with an app, and that's what Apple is an app phone made by Apple. But what about Alexander Graham? What about the African American that invented the cell phone but didn't have the money to patent it, so it came along? What about all of this leads us to inventions, to innovations that we can enjoy life. Many of you have ideas, you have business ideas, you have corporate ideas, but you're trying to see the whole picture. It doesn't work like that. When Bill Gates, if Steve Jobs would have came around 40 years ago, we wouldn't have the iPhone because we didn't have the cell phones that we have now. Somebody have to step out and be innovative. Somebody have to step out. If you're going the way of the masses and you're doing what the masses are doing, you're going the wrong way. Dare to be different. Dare to be different. Dare to be different. Dare to be different. Get your own path in life. Everybody has to walk their own path. And don't compare. Listen to me. Don't compare. And comparisons is very easy. And we find ourselves slipping there subconsciously. Even when we're not thinking about it, we find ourselves comparing ourselves to people. You see somebody on TV, you compare yourself to that one. I was thinking, I was watching my wife and I, my daughter, we out downtown. We enjoy watching good movies. It's hard to find them, but we find them a lot. And that's something I like to do, is find a good movie, do pretty good with it. And I would find one that was perfect mood, this perfect family. Fine, nice family. And when you get into it, you see it ain't like what you think it is. Some of y'all got TV ideas of marriages and stuff like that. No, I was telling somebody earlier, they're starting a single department at one of the religious institutions they're part of. And I said, one thing in teaching single, don't teach single people to prepare for marriage because they're skipping over themselves. Teach them to enjoy singleness by themselves. Let me tell you something. Those of you that's single, you better be thankful every single day that you're who you are. Come on, because it's not like it. You say, well, I've been dating him 6 months. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, dating somebody 6 months is almost meeting somebody 6 days ago, because we don't have the same values and standards. Come on, somebody. I don't know. I may have to do suffering. They're still suffering. We don't have the same values. People have a lovers of themselves more than lovers of God, or lovers of people, or lovers of thy neighbor. So you have to understand, if you gotta, there's certain situations that even my wife and I, when she did a background check, she did everything. I didn't have no problem with that. If you're dating somebody, let them know this is what I do. I'm going to do a background check. Not to judge it, but I want to know who I'm dealing with. Now, if they got a problem with that, that's a red flag. Ask for their ID. How many people you have dated and you've never asked for the ID? They gone on now. You still don't know their real name. They could have been on America Most Wanted 20 years ago. I know I'm helping somebody. I'm enjoying this. ID people. You got kids? Well, I just heard a story last week when I went off of a guy that molested his own daughter. And you wonder why I'm into mental health. And I told somebody earlier, this is the problem with the religious community in the church, because they're not dealing with issues. They're living in an illusion. They're not helping you. You're tithing, you giving, they're not helping you. Because they're not helping you here in areas that you need help. They're helping you to benefit them, but not helping you to benefit you. He molested his own daughter. Then went to move his sister. My brother won't do that. My brother ain't going to do it. And went to live with his sister and ended up molesting her 2 kids. Because you don't live in reality. If a person got an issue, they got a problem. If your family member have stayed with everybody in town, and now the circle is coming you, and you open your doors, something wrong with you. Because you can see there's a trend. They've stayed with everybody else, and everybody says the same thing. What make you think you're going to do is going to be anything different unless they change themselves and want to better themselves? They're going to freeload off of you. In your life, you trying to get it. When you're trying to, let me give you a point of wisdom. When you're on a journey and you're beginning to come up, and you're beginning to be able to get your bills straight, and you're moving towards your goal, and you pretty well beginning, you got your mind, as the young folks, you got your mind right. You don't need anybody moving in with you. That's a distraction. Number one, it distracts your whole rhythm or your momentum of what you're doing. They move in with you, everything changes. Okay? Everything changes. Even when there's boundaries, everything changes. So when you're trying to be successful, you've got to have boundaries. This is why y'all get messed up in social issues in your life, and you're suffering socially, and it's an illusion because you don't have boundaries. You're afraid to say no. You're afraid to say, this is what I allow. This is what I want to allow. This is what, come on, somebody. It has to be boundaries. I hope somebody's listening. Home is the only place you can go and let your hair down. Can I be real? If you want to walk around with nothing on, that's your home. But then once you take people in, all of that change. Are you saying D.L. Hughes don't help? No, I'm saying be careful who you help. And nowadays you have to be 1,000 very, 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 very careful who you let them. Recommend them to social services somewhere. Recommend them to social services. If you have to take them, take them. I told one person, don't even let nobody take their shoes off in your house. Once they take their shoes off, once they get mail, that's it. I'm talking to somebody. I just don't talk. I talk through the Spirit. So I'm trying to help somebody, okay? There's source within you. Now, I wanted to do a teaching on this, and here it is. Source is within you. We're a part. Everything is a part. Everything is a part of everything is a part of what we're doing, how we're doing, and how we're. You gotta let me say this to you. You gotta keep. I'm only talking to people that's ready. That's all I talk to. If you're ready, you catch this. If you're really ready, you're writing it down. I know my Betty writing stuff down. If you're really ready, you feed your mind, life will feed you. If you feed your mind, life will feed you. You fed your mind with all of these things that you believe over the years. And I'm not blaming you, because I didn't know better years ago. I had to become enlightened. I had to become awakened to who I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. Can I say it again? I am that I am. Okay? So you understand. You understand that suffering is the way you're looking at things. And you're labeling it as what? Suffering. Our mental activity will make us suffer if we begin to define ourselves through it. It is not about the thoughts themselves, but how they feed into your inner narrative and perception of self. I always say, you're not going to be able to stop the thoughts from coming. They're going to come. Automatic thoughts. Boom, they pop up. Boom, they pop up. You're feeling good. You feel good. Bop, this automatic intrusive thought pops up. What do? Keep on doing what you're doing. If you're fishing, keep fishing, because it's just a thought. It is going to pass. And for God's sake, don't let it last. We used to say 17 seconds. I think scientifically, if you think a thought for 16 seconds, it starts bringing other thoughts. Similar, that's how the law of attraction works. Okay. Every seed reproduces after its own kind. Whatever you're putting out there, your thoughts, you know why? You keep having negativity and lack, because that's where you are. When it comes to paying your bills, see your money circulating. You got to hold that image of plenty and abundance. That's the reality. See, what you call reality is not reality. It's only the outward world. The real reality is on the inside of you, the God you. You are a superpower. That's what I keep hearing that. You are a superpower. Will you say that with me? I am a what? I am a superpower. And it's important. It's important that there has to be you have to align yourself with the spirit that's within the spirit, the presence of God. That the presence of God is within every individual. Christ is all and in all. It's in everybody. But everybody have not been awakened. There has to be an awakening. Can I say it again? There has to. See, you've been looking for somebody. I'm gonna tell you what happened. I just saw this. And there's nothing wrong with it because I do it. I'm a seer. Okay. There's times I go into the prophetic. I don't apologize for that. This is who I am. That's what, thank you, my mother, but I am a superpower. Okay. You can't be defeated. But you have seen other folks get defeated. So what happens with that? You comparing yourself. They did this. See, I just wrote something today. This stuff comes, y'all. It's like almost a songwriter, but mine is the wisdom. Okay, it's like this. It's like this. They're gonna come. There's nothing you can do. That's just about being in this human experience. The thoughts gonna come, but you gotta step back and look at them. What I'm thinking, because there's 60,000 thoughts that go through your head all day. But there's certain pattern, but then there's certain thoughts that develop a pattern, and you hate that pattern because when you don't want to think like that pattern, and before you know it, it's like you're on a train ride, a negative train ride. But that's why you have to be conscious of your thoughts, so you know when to get off the train. You know when to stop the train, okay? Because the law of attraction is not a philosophy. The law of attraction is physics. It's science. It's like the law of motion. It's like the law of gravity, the law of resonance. Okay, it's real. The law of attraction is just as real as you seeing me or where you're sitting or laying. But we weren't taught these things. So we're way out there somewhere in a religious world that's not connecting to the source of the God presence within us to become powerful. We are powerful. Some religious communities say we just need more power. You don't need no more power. You got all the power you need. You're a superpower. You have superpower. But you don't use it because you don't know the power of thought. You're living in your emotion. When you live in your emotion, you're living in that animalistic nature, that low nature, that animalistic, that snake, that's an animalistic nature in all of us. There's a snake in all of us. There's a cougar in all of us. There's a lion in all of us. Yeah, that lion, let that lion roar. That superpower lion, let it roar. Happiness, get this, stop waiting for conditions and people to make you happy. Because when they leave, there goes my baby. There goes my happiness. And that's why you keep reaching out to them. You know the relationship is over. You know it's dead. But because how they made you feel in supporting your emotions, your negative emotions that you have been pacifying, now they're gone, but you know the person is not good for you. You know the person is not going where you're going, but they made something within you feel good and made you feel like you was wanted. They didn't want you because they're gone. You got to want you. I've been on a journey of loving me some me. Somebody put that in there. I love me some me. When you start loving you for you, you don't let people handle you anyway. That's the problem. We never was taught self-love. But coming up in church, I was scared to love myself. I was scared. Just love God. Just love God. Well, I love him too, the God within me. Him and I are one. I and my Father are one. When you see me, you see him, we're one. We're made in his image. There's no separation. And that's the superpower awareness right there. Okay? And he loves you. Nature, creation, universe, God, source, whatever you want. He loves you. Why don't you love you? Love you, work on you. When you find yourself going in that rabbit hole, come out. Don't beat yourself for going in there. Just make sure. Hey, thank you, Ruth. I didn't know you was on. I love me some me. Okay? You got to love you. Suffering is the way we interpret things in our mind. Because one person called it suffering, one person don't even bother. What you're going through, oh, it's such a suffering. And you've got this person going through, and he ain't dealing with it. So that shows it's an interpretation of events in your mind, what you're dealing with or what you have labored suffering. I'm talking about mental suffering. In the body, I understand that. But even the body lets us know there's pain. That suffering even helps us because it's an indication something is wrong. And when your body talks to you, listen. When your body say, I'm tired, listen. And when you rest your body, rest your mind. If you don't rest your mind, you ain't resting your body. You just laying there and the wheels are going and all over the place. The atoms are going, neurons, all that stuff is going in your body, your nerves, all of that. Because it's in here. When you quiet this, you quiet this. When you quiet this, you quiet this. When was the last time you act and the problem is in meditating and practicing because you're afraid to just be quiet. I do it all the time. Throughout the day, I shut down. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I get away and I go within. And when I hear the negative Bob talking to me, when that negativity, that Bob talking to me in my ear, oh no, in my mind, oh no, Bob, you're a clown. I ain't listening to you. I'm a success. I'm the head, not the tail, first, not last. I begin to talk. The same thing it talked to you, you talk back to it. That's why you can't get the victory because you're listening to it instead of standing up and talking, okay? If I think the situation is unfair, if I get angry, I feel guilty, I wonder what is happening to me. Again, when you're overwhelmed, it's not you, it's your thoughts. The real you is the core you, the God you, the Christ you, that divine nature. That's what you're trying to get. You're trying to tap into that divine nature that's within you. And that comes through personal development. You got to develop you. We're in what? May of this year? And those that's getting the wake-ups, those that's a part of the group, how much have you developed? Are you really developing? I can only give you tools. And this is what happened with the prophetic community. People was running around looking for somebody to do it for them. Nobody can do it for you. They can only give you the tools. And this is why folks are just all over the place. My wife, we were somewhere, and the young lady told my wife, she said, I don't want prophecy. It just confusing. I know it. Because you hear it, you got too many. It's a saying that you're eating off of too many tables. Remember I used to say that? You're eating off of too many Facebook tables and you don't have the information. The prophecy is good, but it takes personal development. It takes wisdom. It takes the developing you. Stop trying to develop other people. Develop you. Stop trying to fix other folks' problems. Fix your own stuff. Can I say it again? Fix your own stuff. Stop trying to you find folks you can fix this stuff. I know there's nothing wrong with that because you want to be helpful. You want people, and I'm like that because I want people to do well. I want people to be where I am. That's why sometimes I'm overbearing with, because I want people to let people know it's all right. It's all in your head. So I understand that, but you've got to know who to rescue. No, not rescue, but who to motivate. You can't rescue anybody. You can take them to the water, but you can't make them drink. You can't rescue anybody. Okay? You can motivate them. Only person you can rescue, one saying, say, physician, heal thyself. When I was an addict, I had to heal myself. This, what I'm teaching, This teaching here is what got me free, that I'm able to walk in freedom now because I got the right information. Nothing wrong with NA, nothing wrong with 12 steps. And there are some principles in 12 steps that can help you. But sometimes when there's a mandate and there's a real mandate on your life, it ain't gonna do it. AA ain't gonna do it. You're gonna have to really move into a place of deliverance. And when I was bound, I'm gonna be very honest. I tell you, there was nowhere to go get delivered that I knew of. Because you went in services more of an entertainment. They had him on a time schedule, which is nothing wrong with that. I mean, I believe in that too. You know, people want to, Sunday's the only day that people have to really let their hair down. It's the only day that people really have to rest. But if the Spirit is moving, let the Spirit have its way. Okay? Let the Spirit have its way. Okay? So, what happened with the prophetic community? All these folk, I got it. I can help you. I don't believe that. There are some that are trained, like myself, in the prophetic. But I'll be the first to tell you, I can only give you the tools. Even if I give you a prophetic word, you got to go to work. When you get that prophetic word, or seer, or whatever, psychic, whatever you want to call it, it's just prophets of different orders. Whatever they tell you, or whatever they say, you got to go to work. If a woman of God tell you something, you can't sit down and say, all right, I'm waiting on that. You've got to put the ducks in order, and you've got to go to work. You've got to read. You've got to improve yourself. You got to start moving in that direction. Mindfulness is one of the greatest things, being present. The past is an illusion. The future is an illusion because you can't touch it. Go back and get your past. What happened 10 years ago? Go back and get it. It only exists in the thought world, in the illusion, because it's not a reality now. But you're calling it a reality. That's why it's weighing you down. That's why when you think about it, it depresses you because you've got regrets. I could have handled it this way. I should have handled it this way. I should have stopped. Whatever you didn't do back then with that situation, learn from it, but don't keep beating yourself. Learn from it. Teach yourself, talk to yourself, move on. If it come up again, you know how to deal with it. But for God's sake, suffering is a result, just about closing, don't you swipe, of attachment. You got to detach yourself. Detach yourself from toxic people. My circle is very, very small. I know a lot of people. I send thousands of these. I wake up at thousands every morning. But I've got boundaries. You know, I used to take all the personal calls. Now it's going over to my psychologist. I am officially certified psychology today, therapist. So everything is going over to that now. See what I'm saying? You set it up, you organize it, you move it on. You keep that balance. You keep your head together. Okay? And be present. Mindfulness, this expression means being mindful of what you are doing in the present, because whatever you're doing now is going to determine what happens tomorrow. Whatever habit you have now or whatever, it's going to determine what happens on tomorrow, okay? Your story is what makes you who you are today. What is your story? I'm 61. I have a story. I had to change my story. I had to give my story a whole nother frame, okay? You know what a frame, picture frame, whole nother frame. I had to reinterpret and my concepts and precepts of things. Because if not, this stuff weigh you down, man. You won't get out the bed. You won't do nothing. So you got to turn around. You got to remember, it's not real. It's not a fact because there's no scientific evidence that what you're thinking or what you're fearing is going to happen. How long you've had you said, I know, but I keep this fear because it protects me just in case if it happened, I'm protected. Don't live like that. Because if it happened, it happened. So what? I did a wake up. I'm going to close on this. I did a wake up and I'm loving it. I did a wake up a few days ago. Let me pull it up. It's a Chinese, and I know some of you got it, but I want to share. It's a Chinese proverb. Very good. I said I wanted to do it, and I just thought about it. And let me pull it up. Stay right there. Don't you go nowhere. Don't you move. I'll be right back. Okay. Oh, I got to go way down. I got so many of these. I've got about, I've been doing this over a year. So I have about 700. I mean, about 700, almost at 700 at 649. Wait a minute. I want y'all to, your thoughts are not always facts. Thoughts simply aren't facts. They are mental events that pop up in the mind and dependent upon our mood. And the mind has to do shortcuts. The mind has to, that's why you found yourself mentally, you hear your day, and you can't stop that. Those are shortcuts. That's how the brain, but you can't stop it, but you have to focus on something different. Okay. It's like changing the channel. Okay. It's like changing the channel. You got to hear this. I didn't know I was going to pull it, have it. Let's see here. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I think that was Wednesday. I'm coming up. The Chinese farmer. Very, 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 very good. I may can pull it up another way. Just stay with me, y'all. Just stay there. Just stay there. Stay right there. I may have to go a different route. Okay, let me do this here. Let me do this. Y'all don't go. Hold on. All right. I think I got it now. Okay. A journey. No, that wasn't the one. All right, y'all. It looked like I don't have it. A Chinese farmer. Okay. Anyway, I know I can do. Let me do it this year. A long time ago, a poor Chinese farmer lost a horse, and all the neighbors came around and said, well, that's too bad. The farmer said, maybe. The farmer said, maybe. Shortly after that, the horse returned bringing another 5 horses, and I've got to get into this. This is really, really good. Okay. All right. So shortly after, the horse returned bringing another horse with him, and all the neighbors came around and said, well, that's good fortune, to which the farmer replied, maybe. The next day, the farmer's son was trying to tame the new horse and fell, breaking his leg, and all the neighbors came around and said, well, that's too bad. And the farmer said, maybe. Shortly after, the emperor declared war on a neighboring nation and ordered all able-bodied men to come fight. Many died or were badly maimed, but the farmer's son was able to fight and spared due to his injury of his leg from the horse. And all the neighbors came around and said, well, that's good fortune, to which the farmer replied, maybe. In China, when sometimes something bad happens, people will say, the man who lost his horse, to remind themselves and others that bad things happen which carry a silver lining, and that's often in the way you look at things which determine the power. So he said, maybe so, maybe not. The neighbors kept coming. They were saying, oh, this happened. So I started saying that maybe yes, maybe not, maybe no. Okay. Whatever it takes, stay calm. Stay calm. What is your story? What are you telling folks on the phone? Something I had to deal with. I had to, my mind, the God mind said, reframe that, because if not, it's different experiences, if you don't reframe it, it'll leave you in a certain way. And then when it leaves you, the thoughts, 10 years from now, the thoughts will come up in the way that you processed it. Does that make sense? That was good, y'all. That was really good. The thoughts come because you started that pattern. So immediately, once you go through something, begin to process it properly and reframe it. That it was a great experience. I learned something, because if not, all the people that it involved become negative energies around you. And before you know it, you are fussing at them in your head and they don't have no idea that you're even thinking about them. You ever do that? You ever have negative conversation with people in your head? You going on, you 10 minutes going, I'm going, and they somewhere watching TV, eating popcorn. Get them out your head. Don't let folks stay in your head rent free. Don't let them stay in your head rent free. All right, I may have to pick up on this because I want to talk about our egos. Rule your mind or it will rule you. Nothing can harm you as much as your own thoughts unguarded. Your thoughts are your worst enemy. Not your neighbor, but your thoughts. Your thoughts are your worst enemy. Why? Because the mind will always be negative. The mind will always be negative. Let's say it again. The mind will always be negative, judgmental, and rooted in fear. A lot of decisions you're making it fear-based. Be careful when you're making decisions or you're doing something, because you can do better, but because of the fear base, you hold back. What are you holding back for? So what if you fail? So what if it don't work? That's the only way you succeed. You got to have an attitude. So what? So what people say? So what they're going to think? Your path is your path. So whatever happens on your path, it's really not their business. If they're focused on their path, they're not focusing on your path. A question, hey, Tanisha, they're not focusing on your path. Your path is your path. You don't owe anybody an explanation. If you change your mind and do something different, you change job, you change housing, that's your choice. Because it's your path. And you know what? Nobody knows your desires or your goals like you or your passion. Oh, I feel this thing. Nobody knows your passion like you. So stop trying to explain your journey to people. It's your passion that's moving you, that's driving you. It's your desire to be, to do, to have, that's moving you, that's driving you. If it goes a different direction, so what? If it lasts for a while, then you do something different, so what? You don't owe anybody an explanation. Oh, I felt that. Stop doing that, explaining somebody. Well, I changed job. Well, and you try to downplay yourself. Why are you downplaying yourself? Because you don't know who you are. This is why we suffer. We suffer because we don't know who we are. You get a new car. You trying to down, well, it's just a little something I owe. Say thank you. Because they don't know how many times that old car put you down. They don't know how many times it was in the shop. So stop downplaying what you're doing. Tell folks, thank you. God did it. I manifested this. You get a house. You don't have to explain nobody. You want to change jobs? Change jobs. Well, I'm scared. I need to. No. Make a decision, make a choice, and do it, and move towards your desire. Because certain things you're not going to do for a long time. It's only for a season. When that season is up, it's time to move on. But see, y'all stay places out of season, and it starts crashing. Because you're afraid. What are you afraid of? You're afraid of change. That's what you're afraid of. Yeah. You're afraid of change. You're afraid of contrast. Okay? As you live a normal life, you will always find things you did not prefer or have ideas about your life could be better. But no, you're in the right place. Don't think, oh, my life could have been better. If I would have married him, baby, you can't see. You see the things you believe? The things you see what we say and we believe it. An example, oh, if I would have married Bozo, my life, you don't know that. Just because it's working with somebody else he's with is a whole lot of elements involved and components involved. So don't live with regrets that if you would have stayed with so-and-so. No. Come on, somebody. I'm trying to help you. You have to get out of there. Because source within you has the answer. The answer you need is within you. It ain't coming from the sky. Ain't nothing coming out the clouds but birds and the rain. I think we're getting rain here now. Are you listening to me? All right, I got to get ready. The other line, yes. Remember, I did on my week this morning. Then talked about everything vibrates. Everything vibrates. Your thoughts, your emotions. You got to go within you. Learn that's the Christ you, the God you, the core you, that core you, that core you. The presence of God that's within every human being. We're the only creatures that create our own environment and can think like God because we have the mind of Christ. Okay? All right, you all. I'm going to enjoy talking about source within. Remember, the power of God is within you. Take him out the sky and remember God in you, as you, through you. Can I say it again? God in you, as you, through you. This is what I want today, and I don't do this often, and I don't do it to this. I want those of you that I got a lot of things. I've got to upgrade to I've got to upgrade to a different app because the app that I have is crashing. I'm doing over 10,000 people and it wasn't made for that. So if you get your wake up, if you don't get it, please let me know. If you don't get it, if you will send me your email, I will email it to you because there's nothing I can do. I don't know if you don't get it because the phone shows me that it went out and sometimes it don't go out. That means I've got to upgrade to a larger platform for that. So I want those of you, this is what I feel that then many times those of you support, and I appreciate that. Anything worth changing you and helping you is worth supporting. We don't have Anheuser-Busch and Newports. That's how they make theirs, and that's how the football teams and all that make those with big, promotions and endorsement and this and that. We're trying to build a company here with personal development. So I want those today. I don't know why I just feel $27. If you would seed $27 into our company and what we're trying to do in mental health. We're doing a lot of things. Again, if you need therapy or coaching, I am a Psychology Today certified therapist, so I can help you. But I'm talking about I want you to get that $27 to me move quickly, okay? Because I know I'm breaking yokes, emotional yokes, mental yokes, helping you become better version of yourself and helping develop you. If I'm helping you, I want you to donate $27 on today. The information is at the bottom of the screen. And I appreciate that. Okay. $Faith Prophetic. All right. We're getting ready. Let me put this up. Okay. Somebody just asked for the QR code. Let me put that up right now. Okay. I'll leave it up for a couple seconds before we go off. You know how you do it? Take your phone, it goes right there. Put that $27 as seed in the ground. I know we're helping people. We want to expand. There's 190 countries, and I want every country in the world when it comes to personal development and training people. Okay, it's always a wonderful experience in gathering and being with y'all. I plan all week for this. D. Leonard Hughes Personal Development Institute. I am D. Leonard Hughes, President and CEO of D. Leonard Hughes Personal Development Institute and Coaching Show. Appreciate every one of you. Put that seed in the ground. We thank you, those that's doing it. I appreciate those that's going to do it. If you feel to do more, you want to give $2 million, you can do it. And I guarantee you it will be used for a worthy cause. And you will get appreciated and a letter of your giving. Anything, just whatever. All right, I'm out of here. D. Leonard Hughes here. Thank you for listening.